Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to give you that deeper understanding, those insights that really stick with you. Today, we're getting hands-on, metaphorically speaking, with a key bit of security hardware. It's the Uniview NVR501-08B-LP8. Basically a network video recorder that's supposed to make surveillance, smarter and easier. We've got the main specs here, but also this interesting little side note about a company called Alpha Vision hinting at AI and security.
Exactly. And our job today is to cut through all the technical stuff. We want to pull out what's really important about this NVR. It's not just what it is, but why it actually matters. Whether you're looking to secure a small business, maybe you're an installer, or perhaps you're just curious about where this tech is heading. We want you to leave knowing the practical advantages.
Okay, so let's unpack this Uniview NVR501-08B-LP8. An NVR, a network video recorder, most listeners probably know it's like the brain for IP cameras, right? Pulls all the feeds together. But this specific model, what makes this brand special? There are so many out there.
Yeah, it's a crowded market. But what's interesting here is how this one's really designed for, let's say, practical, smooth integration right out of the box. It is the brain, you're right, but this model, the NVR501-08B-LP8, it's kind of aimed perfectly at small to medium setups and for people wanting professional security, but without maybe all the usual headaches. And a key thing, something users will notice immediately, is the 8 built-in PoE ports, power over Ethernet.
Ah, PoE. Okay, yeah. That's huge for installs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember a friend showing me his old setup. Looked like spaghetti junction in his closet. So these PoE ports, they basically fix that.
They absolutely do. I mean, think about it. Instead of running separate power lines to each camera, up to 8 of them, you just use the one Ethernet cable.
Right.
That single cable carries the video data and the power the camera needs. So boom, no need for all those extra power bricks, the adapters, extra wiring. It's gone. Which means, it looks cleaner. It's way faster to set up. And honestly, fewer things that can potentially fail down the line. Big win.
That sounds fantastic, especially for installers. Less cable, less complexity. Makes total sense. But okay, switching gears slightly. Security footage. Clarity is everything, right? No point recording if it's just a blurry mess. So how does this NVR make sure it's getting really sharp images? And then with high-res cameras, how does it cope with all that data? It must be massive amounts.
Clarity is definitely king. And this NVR, the NVR501-08B-LP8, it's built with that in mind. It uses advanced video compression, things like Ultra 265, H265, and the older H264 standard. Now, these aren't just acronyms. They're smart ways to shrink the video file size without wrecking the image quality. H265 is way more efficient than H264, the old standard. And Ultra 265, that's Uniview's own tech, pushing efficiency even further. Think of it like making a high-def movie file much smaller, but when you play it back, it still looks just as sharp.
So you keep the detail, but it doesn't eat up your hard drive quite so fast.
Yeah.
And you mentioned recording up to 16 megapixels. That's incredibly sharp. Like zoom in and read a license plate sharp.
Potentially, yes. That kind of detail is exactly what 16MP offers. Really useful for identification. And to handle that, it supports one SATA hard drive, but a big one up to 16 terabytes. Now, some specs might mention 10 TB, but the official FAQs for this series point to 16 TB capability.
Yeah.
So plenty of space.
16 terabytes. Okay, so even with, say, all 8 cameras running high res, how long might that actually last? Are we talking days, weeks?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really depends on things like, are you recording constantly or only when motion is detected, frame rates, that sort of thing. But with that Ultra 265 compression we talked about, for a typical small and medium business, you're likely looking at weeks, maybe even months, before it starts overwriting the oldest footage. Gives you a good long history.
Okay, that's reassuring. You don't want to lose footage just because the drive's filled up too quickly. And when you do need to look back or watch live, what are the options? How do you see this stuff?
Good point. You've got flexibility there. There's an HDMI output that goes up to 4K resolution. So connect it to a modern 4K TV or monitor, you get crystal clear picture. There's also a standard VGA output, good for older monitors up to 1080p. And you can actually use both at the same time, maybe live view on one, playback on another. Plus it can decode multiple streams at once, like 2 4K camera feeds simultaneously, or up to 8 1080p feeds, all smooth, no lag, right there on your monitor.
Recording, storing, viewing high-res video. That's the foundation. But here's where I think it gets really cool. The smart stuff. I mean, recording passively is one thing, but turning that footage into something actionable, that's the goal now, isn't it? What can this NVR do?
Absolutely. This is where things get intelligent. This NVR isn't just recording, it's analyzing. It has built-in video analytics. We're talking things like face detection, intrusion detection, setting a virtual line, and if someone crosses it, bang, an alert. Cross-line detection is similar, good for doorways, people counting, which is great for retail maybe, even heat map analytics to see where people tend to gather or linger.
Okay, that sounds powerful, turning video into data, basically. But what about false alarms? That's always the worry. Like human body detection. How good is it at telling a person from, I don't know, a big dog or headlights sleeping across the yard?
That's a very fair point. False alarms are the enemy of effective security. The human body detection here uses, well, smarter algorithms. It's designed specifically to recognize the shape and movement patterns of humans and ignore things like animals, swaying trees, shadows, car lights, the usual culprits. It's not foolproof, nothing is, but it drastically cuts down on those nuisance alerts. So when you do get notified, it's much more likely to be something you actually need to see.
Right, so it's more proactive, less
Right.
annoying. That makes a huge difference. Okay, reliability then. The security footage is useless if it's corrupted or missing. What if the network drops out for a second? Or what if it's installed somewhere that gets kind of hot or cold?
Built-in safeguards are crucial. This NVR has something called ANR, Automatic Network Replenishment. Basically, if a camera loses its connection to the NVR, maybe the network blips, the camera starts recording locally onto its own SD card, if it has one. Then when the connection comes back up, the camera automatically sends that stored footage back to the NVR. Fills in the gap seamlessly. No lost video.
Oh, that's clever. Like a little backup plan built right in.
Exactly. And temperature-wise, it's rated to operate from -10 Celsius up to 55 Celsius. That's 14 Fahrenheit to 131 Fahrenheit. So pretty robust for standard indoor environments. Your typical office, store, or home closet, it should handle it just fine.
Okay, so we've got high-quality recording, efficient storage, smart alerts that are actually smart, and it's reliable, even if the network hiccups. But how do you, the user, actually interact with it all, especially when you're not there? Remote access is key these days.
Absolutely essential. And it offers several ways. There are mobile apps, Univiews, EZView, and Guard Viewer. Let you see live feeds, playback, get alerts, all on your phone or tablet. You can also access it through a standard web browser on your computer. Or, for bigger setups, through dedicated VMS software video management system. And really importantly, it supports ONVIF standards.
ONVIF. That means it plays nice with cameras from other brands, right? Not locked into just Uniview.
Precisely. Gives you flexibility. If you have existing cameras or want a mix and match, ONVIF compatibility makes that much easier. Network-wise, it has a standard RJ45 Ethernet port, 1000 megabits per second, and it can handle decent bandwidth, 80 or 160 megabits per second incoming, depending on the exact mode, and 80 outgoing, which basically means it can juggle multiple camera streams without choking your network. Smooth remote viewing is part of the design.
Okay, let's pull this all together then. For someone looking at security solutions right now, we've got easy setup with PoE, really high-res video, smart features that actually help, reliability tricks like ANR, flexible remote access, and the price mentioned is $449 USD. That seems like quite a lot of bang for your buck, wouldn't you say?
I would, yeah. Looking at the whole package, it hits a really nice sweet spot. It brings together strong performance, those intelligent features, and genuinely easier deployment. For that price, you're getting more than just a recorder. You're getting an intelligent hub for your security. It makes high-def, smart surveillance pretty accessible, I think. It's a strong offering.
And speaking of intelligence, we saw that mention of Alpha Vision, using AI in construction, featured in Built Worlds. How does that connect? Or what does it tell us about the bigger picture here? It feels related.
It is related. It's a great example, actually. It highlights how AI is really starting to permeate, well, everywhere. Not just security cameras analyzing for intruders. Alpha Vision is using similar tech AI, machine vision, on construction sites for safety checks, tracking progress, making things more efficient. So it's the same underlying idea, using AI to understand the physical world, just applied differently. The Uniview NVR interprets video for security events. Alpha Vision interprets site activity for construction insights. It really signals this broader trend. AI isn't just niche anymore, it's becoming a tool to make all sorts of operations smarter and safer. And seeing Alpha Vision mentioned in relation to GSX, the big security show, it just underlines how these worlds are merging. AI and physical operations, security, efficiency, it's all converging.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, so we've really dug into this Uniview NVR501-08B-LP8 today. Covered the easy setup with PoE, the sharp 16MP quality, the genuinely useful smart analytics, the reliability, the connectivity. Seems like a very solid, accessible piece of kit for building a modern security system.
It really does seem to tick a lot of boxes. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how these systems are evolving. They're not just recording anymore, they're interpreting, actively analyzing what they see. As this gets better and more widespread in our homes, businesses, public spaces, what does that mean? For efficiency, sure, but also for privacy, for just how we live day to day. It's a big shift, and honestly, we're probably just scratching the surface of where it's all heading. Something to chew on.